Here trailing 35-21 with 6:40 now as the clock continues to roll. So we're going to go empty here. And it looks like Thomas is going to line up in the slot on the left side. And that's given the Vikings some trouble as the Cats did score the one time we've went 5 wide. And it opens up some running lanes for Jamie as well in a 3rd down and about 9.
They're going to have 3 receivers up at the top of the formation. They're going to look that direction, I believe.
So Jamie with a 3-step drop goes deep over the middle and incomplete. He missed a bit high, intended for Stevie Thomas. Incomplete, and that's 4th down coming up, 4th down and 9 from their own, or from the 21-yard line of the Vikings. Really the ball game here, at least so far, the game hanging in the balance. Of course, we never know with the way the Bearcat defense has been. 6:13 on the clock. We'll see if Jamie has another scramble left in him or if he can make another pass connection.
Certainly too far to kick the field goal anyways. You'd be at the edge of the range. But, yeah, with 6 minutes remaining in the ballgame, down 14, 3 points doesn't do you a whole lot of good here anyhow. So big 4th down for the Cats.
4-man rush. Lathrop's going to step up and try to run for it. He's still up, but he's not going to get anywhere, and that's a turnover on downs as the Vikings able to clamp down on it, but a good drive anyway for the Cats. I think we found something there with Jamie, at least for the future. You know, maybe if this game doesn't turn out right, but nice drive by the Bearcats. Just another time near the red zone. Everything kind of fizzled out, and it's a turnover on downs here with 6:07 to go.
35-21, Tennessee High in the lead. Like I said, 6:07 remaining in the ballgame. Is going to be 1st and 10. Vikings from their own 23-yard line.
So Lathrop tried to make a play, but the one man that could catch him there on the scramble attempt got him and held him up long enough, and now the Vikings look like they were misaligned.
Have to burn a timeout here.
Looked like they were misaligned on the play, and that'll give this defense a breather for the Bearcats. 6:07 to go, trailing by 14. And Travis, you know, you get a stop here or whatever, but this game has stayed close throughout. You know, both teams have made mistakes, but, you know, both teams have took advantage of each mistake. So far, I mean, if you're the Virginia High Bearcats, you got to be proud of the way you've played. Tennessee High has played well as.
Yeah, I think, yeah, you're right. Yeah, Tennessee High starting to get a little worn down here also, even with all that depth. Virginia High has definitely given them all that they wanted. But, you know, we talked about Tennessee High as the team with everything to lose. Bearcats have nothing to lose, but you still you want to win this game. You know, even though it doesn't really count toward your district rankings, doesn't count, you know, in the state rankings or anything. But, man, you really wanted to win this game. It's the crosstown rivalry. But, hey, they've made a ball game out of it. 2 years in a row. I think this game is going to turn out to be a little bit closer than what anybody expected it to be.
Yeah, last year went down. We're trailing by 7 going into the 4th quarter. And same thing this afternoon, and this team is not as deep as last year's team, but of course I think the starting 11 talent-wise is better than last year's team.
Oh yeah, and what a gut check they've had here tonight. You know, like you said, playing pretty much both sides of the ball the whole game.
Here are the Vikings, and a big run here, about 14 on the carry, as he's actually tackled out of bounds by his own man, and it's a 1st down for the Vikings, a gain of about 17 on the carry, 1st down.
Yeah, got run out of bounds. Got run over beyond the boundary line by his own player. Should have been, can you throw a late hit out of bounds on your own guy?
Yeah, I don't know. We could use it, right?
Yeah, we'll take that.
No, they actually did give a penalty. Personal foul on the Bearcats, but I swear.
Yeah, his own guy run him over out there.
There was nobody. Colton Ratcliffe got up after the play and walked away from it. Wow. Well, I mean, I guess if you're going to have a penalty like that, I don't see where the penalty was there, though, because his own man was falling over him, and Ratcliffe was just trying to sidestep the other guy who was coming in blazing.
Well, that makes the 2nd time tonight, though, I've missed seeing a flag.
Yeah, I don't know
so
where
we don't have a real good angle here from our press box. But
well, evidently the ref didn't right there, right? So 1st down and 10, Viking football out past the 50-yard line as they call a late hit there on the Cats. It was kind of a imaginary one as McBriar is loose now, breaks a couple of tackles, and I'm not sure the Cats are going to catch him. He gets a lead block as Davidson was the only man that could get him, and McBriar's in. 47-yard touchdown run, really set up by that penalty, though, as it's a touchdown, and that puts this one nearly out of reach. 41-21 now the score.
Too many big plays. Too many turnovers and too many big plays by the Bearcats. That's really all you can say. And just because you know where the mistakes are doesn't make it any better. I mean, you got to learn to minimize them.
So extra point being lined up here. So another big scoring play by the Vikings after that 15-yard penalty on
James
the late
Kite again for the PAT. There's the count, the snap, the hold, the kicking up, and it's barely through again. So his last two kicks have both just barely got over that crossbar, but they've got over nonetheless. So our new score, 5:46 remaining in the fourth quarter. Tennessee High now leads the Bearcats 42-21.
Cole McBriar now has 243 yards rushing on the ball game. So
fans never miss a moment of the 2018 season. Tune in every week for Virginia High School football on Bearcat Radio. Coverage begins 30 minutes before kickoff at www.spreaker.com/Bearcat Radio. Go Cats.
So a winded Bearcat kick return team will come back out on the field, trailing now 42-21. Again, going into the fourth period, the Cats trailed by 7, but it's been all Vikings here in the fourth quarter. And kind of what, we talked to Coach Christa early, or not Coach Christa, we talked to Coach Sidnor before the game. He said, if we can get it to the fourth quarter, he said, but then that's when the depth becomes the issue, and you can kind of see it becoming the issue here. Just the speed on this Viking team, too, has been a difference. As it looks like some of the Bearcat faithful filtering back to the Virginia side of the state line tonight as the kick is off, and it's a deep one, and it'll roll into the end zone for a touchback. A little bit of a late little dust up there, but nothing called on the play. A little shove there late between a Bearcat and a Viking, but nothing called after the touchback. A couple of guys got tangled up down near the 25-yard line.
Give you an update here from a Southwest District score. Tazewell, they've gone final there. They pick up the win over Riverview, 61-38.
So after it was close for a while, they ended up winning in a blowout. A lot of points put up by the Bulldogs. We saw that offense a couple of weeks ago. They were pretty dynamic.
They were, yeah.
So Bearcats back out offensively, trailing by 21. 5:46 to go here in the fourth quarter. We'll see if we can put together a drive, get some momentum going. Wise Central rolls into Gene Malcolm next Friday night.
Mind you, we get back to our regular kickoff, Virginia side kickoff time, 7 o'clock on that game. We'll be on air at 6:30.
So we have a flag on the play, pre-snap, and it looks like a false start on the Bearcats as they're pointing toward the center. I mean, this game you're going to take away from it. I think whenever you look at the final score, you're going to say, wow, the Vikings really handled the Bearcats. But really, the Bearcats scratched and clawed their way and only trailed by 7 going into the fourth period. Of course, miracles can still happen, I guess. But
yeah, I mean, you still got 2 timeouts remaining, down 21 points, 5:46 remaining.
But, we talked to, Coach Chris, the pregame interviews. Cats will start it here, first down and 15 from their own 15. Lathrop lets one loose down the field, and it's picked off again by the Vikings, just trying to force one to Will Brown, and Lathrop's now thrown 4 interceptions. Just trying to force something there, but, at this point, you got to try to get downfield as quick as possible. So Parker Hall with the interception.
Another Southwest District final for you. Grundy picks up a win over the Lebanon Pioneers, 43-14. That game's gone final.
So at the 5:41 mark, it'll be Tennessee High football on the Bearcat side of the 50. So this game really, the wheels kind of falling off here in the fourth quarter, as it is first down and 10 for the Vikings. This time a carry right up the middle by Tennessee High, and he's brought down after a gain of about 6 yards. That time it was Kelvin Coleman up the middle for the Vikings. And, we don't really have a second team to bring in, even, in this game, with depth-wise, we just don't have that many guys. So really it's still the first team defense out on the field. Davidson, Ratcliffe, all of those defensive linemen out there. Rose, the big names still out on the field. Second down and 4. Handoff right up the middle, and they gash again for another first down. for the Vikings inside the 30-yard line with 5 minutes to go. A lot of Bearcats slow to get up, just exhausted out on the field.
Still, let's credit their heart. They've hung in there tonight. Just too many mistakes at inopportune times. But again, like the depth is a big issue, especially at this point in the game. But down 21, but they brought Tennessee High all they wanted for at least 3 quarters of this ball game.
Tennessee High lines up tight formation. A bad snap as it gets away from McBriar, and they'll recover it back at the 41-yard line, so maybe a bit of a break there. That is a loss of about 12 on the play. He'll send them all the way back to the 41-yard line.
Gene Malumba and Joseph Kennedy both back there with an opportunity to recover that fumble, but weren't quite getting it. So a big loss, bringing up second down and almost the Bristol, Virginia side of the state line.
Yeah, Big John Malumba. Big John Malumba almost got to that one. 4:15 on the clock. 42-21, Vikings leading the Bearcats here in the 102nd edition of the VT game. They'll hand it off backside, and the Bearcats there to close down as they sling him to the turf. Nice tackle made, coming in late. That is a unlisted guy.
Forward progress. No, we got him. Charles Kimmer, right?
I was talking about us.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, number 15. He's not on our roster. We have found depth. We have found depth. This big old boy, number 15, made the tackle. And it's third down, and like Travis said, Bristol, Virginia. Third down and about 22. Make it 25.
Ball on the Virginia High 45-yard line, coming up on 3 minutes remaining here in the ball game.
They'll hand it off to the left side, and breaking free. And the tackle made inside by Kennedy down to the 9-yard line. A nice run. Big run there.
Bryce Snyder on the carry for the Vikings.
Yeah, by Snyder. And it's a 1st and goal coming up. So in this 4th quarter so far, the Vikings have outscored the Bearcats 14-0. Pick 6 and a 47-yard touchdown run after the Cats just trailed by 7 to open the quarter. Now they're about to score another one as they'll try to go inside, and they won't get anything on the play. John Malumba thought he was held up there on the play, but no flag thrown. That's something we haven't seen tonight either team, really.
Yeah, not a whole lot.
A holding call.
Travis Williams making the tackle for the Bearcats.
Travis making a play as the Vikings are down in the red zone at their Bearcat 7-yard line, 2nd down and goal. They'll line up in another tight formation. And this time they're going to line up with Bryce Snyder at quarterback, the backup. The snap is off and into the backfield as it flipped off of his hands. Fumbled, and it'll go as a loss of about 9 on the bad snap. Make that a loss of about 12 on that bad snap. Sends them all the way back to the 16, 17-yard line.
So we got some new players, in the game there for Tennessee High. So we're having a little bit of trouble. New quarterback in there, new center as they bring in some of their second-string guys here late in the contest. They're just trying to get everything on the right page. So Virginia High trying to make a stop. Minute 40 remaining in the ball game. They trail 42-21. It's now going to be 3rd and goal for the Vikings on the Bearcat 17.
So Snyder in the gun with 2 in the backfield with him. They'll hand off straight away. A nice block down the field as they'll work outside, down inside the 5-yard line. And he's driven out of bounds at around the 3 or 4-yard line. It'll bring up 4th down from there. Now, do you go for it if you're the Vikings when you're already up 21 with a minute 21 to go, or what do you do?
Interesting. Game. Good opportunity to work on, your field goal team. I would think. We'll see what they'll do here. 4th down.
They're sort of discussing it on the sideline.
Clock stopped because the play went out of bounds. Looks like they're going to
call a timeout.
Call timeout to think about it.
So they'll think about this 4th down and goal from they'll make it the 5-yard line. As the Bearcats will try to get a final stop here. Of course, it's going to be all said and done regardless, but, 42-21 looks a little better than 49-21. So we'll see if the Cats can get a stop or if they decide to try to put a field goal through. But a game that really just kind of got turned on its head once we opened the 4th quarter action. And the Vikings just making plays, Jamie. A couple of bad decisions here and there, and it's going to cost you in a game like this.
It is, and it's weird. We thought